Due to the spread of the coronavirus, the state of Texas was forced to shut down, streets were left nearly empty, and police officers had to adjust the way they worked.
So we want to make sure that we were respectful of other people too, because nobody kind of knew what was going as far as, like the level of how dangerous it was. So we tried to make sure that we were properly wearing different protective equipment, had face masks, we're making sure that we were sanitizing, and making sure that we respected people like they would want to be respected.
Officers constantly sanitized workstations and police vehicles. An officer getting sick would have had drastic effects.
And when you get into a situation of one person contracts COVID, as I say, in the early stages of it, it was pretty much knocking out an entire shift.
Police officers would avoid unnecessary confrontations whenever possible. Some officers were more lenient with violators.
I'm sure there were probably a few officers that might not have been stopping for violations they might normally would be stopping for. They would just kind of, I've done it before where I'm driving along, you see somebody, and you don't necessarily want to stop them for that, but you'll flash your lights at them, kind of honk the horn, give them a little siren beat, let them know that you're seeing what they're doing.
In the year 2019, 29% of overall traffic stops resulted in a speeding warning. During the lockdown of 2020, the number of warnings increased to 61%. Sergeant John Felty said, limiting contact was a major reason for this change.
You can write a warning much faster than you can write a citation. That's one reason. Number two, we felt like that the pandemic, there was a lot of things that were unprecedented that we were dealing with as far as people and hardship and all the things that people were dealing with. So we decided we were more concerned about correcting the behavior through, like say, a warning than we were about a citation.
In March of 2020, there were over 100 more reported speeding violations than March in the year 2021, even though there were less cars on the roads.
I do think, just from personal observation, that there were more speeders during that period of time, because people knew, it had been reported in the media, and that we were not making traffic stops. We were certainly not making as many traffic stops, and the traffic stops that we made were only if it was, kind of a gross negligence kind of a offense.
Once the public began to learn more about the coronavirus, the lockdown was lifted and more officers began to hit the streets again.
When we did kind of change our posture, once we had a better understanding of how to protect ourselves with PPE, we got back out there. I think it surprised some people when we first started making traffic stops again at the usual level.
Officers are seeing slightly more traffic than previous years as civilians are anxious to return to normal. For NT Daily, I'm KevinPacheco.